Hi, Dave Smith here, DJS Photography. I'm here with another video in my black and white photography series. I've been pretty desperate to try this camera out, and if you've been following my videos, you'll see that I did a kind of introduction to this thing. This is my 14x17 camera. It's absolutely enormous. I'll show you the film holders in a moment, but I've had it for a while. I've been waiting for X-ray film to arrive, then I needed to get a tray to develop, and you remember that I like to stand develop my film, so I need a tray that's completely flat in the bottom, otherwise you get variations in the image from the indentations in the bottom of the tray, and that's actually remarkably sensitive. You could almost kind of etch a thing into the bottom of a tray and then develop it into the film, sort of. Anyway, this is the 14x17. I was going to set it up in here to shoot those flowers behind this rather haphazard arrangement. I don't really think the sort of floral arts have anything to worry about from me, but when I set this camera up, I almost had to move it right to the far wall just to get these flowers into focus. This is a 760mm lens on the front of here, so you need quite a lot, and the bellows was racked all the way out, so I dispensed with that idea. It was not going to be very useful. And so I've opened the window. It's a beautiful evening here in Brussels, and I'm literally just going to take a shot out across the way. There's the sort of penthouse apartment across there, and the trees beyond, and the clear blue sky. Really just as a test shot, and really just so I can have a go with this phenomenal camera. I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to show you the tray. I'm going to show you the film. There's all kinds of sort of issues and problems when I was loading the film. Let me just grab that. So this is the film holder, right? So there is the size of the sheet of film. When I was loading this thing last night, I have a dark tent next door. These dark slides were incredibly stiff. So I'm a little worried that when I get them in the camera I can get them out, but I'm not so sure how easy it's going to be to get them back in, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. So that's the film holder. Let's just pop that to one side for now. And back here, this is the tray that I found to develop these things in. You can see it's nice and flat. It's a catering tray. I think they do something called tray bakes in them. But nice and flat, so it won't leave any markings on the negatives when it's stand developing for me. So that's pretty useful. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to put the camera underneath the dark cloth here and try and get you an image of the ground glass screen so that you can see what we're looking at. You can see how beautiful the image looks. Then I'm going to stop it again, get the whole thing loaded up, and take an image. And then the last thing I'm going to try and put into this video is some way to get you to see that image. And what I might do is once the film is dried, so probably tomorrow now, I might get a sheet of A3 paper, which is actually smaller than those negatives. Can you believe? Tape it to the window, tape the negative on top of that, and then hopefully the bright light from outside will shine through, and it'll be a little bit like a light box, and I'll point the camera at that and you'll be able to see what the negative looks like. And that's kind of my plan. So it's going to take a little while to unfold this video. This is all set up at the moment. I have it's essentially focused at infinity. There's about 700mm of bellows draw there. The lenses are 760mm, so the bellows factor is to multiply the exposure by is given by bellows draw squared over focal length squared, and those are about the same. So I'm not expecting to have to add any exposure factor for the bellows draw on this, even though it looks like it's quite a lot of draw there, and it is quite a lot of draw. So I'm going to work out the exposure. I'm going to grab my light meter, and I'm going to use a spot meter and just spot off several things there. And I might just include a little of that in the video. I'm not sure how interesting that is. If you are interested, drop me a line and we can chat a little about it. But it's a white building across there, so that's a pretty bright thing. And then there's some sort of trees and buildings in shadow further across there, and that'll be the range of my exposures. And then we'll see where we have to be. I expose these X-ray films normally at 80 ASA and just stand develop, so I get a lot of contrast, which is the kind of negative I need for palladium contact printing. So I hope you're going to find this interesting. It's going to take a little while to get everything together. I'm going to show you underneath the dark cloth next. I'll talk a little about the image and you can see what we're doing. Be a bit disembodied voice, and then I'll try and show you the negative later. So thanks for watching, and I'll get back to you presently. Okay, so this is the image on the ground glass screen. You're not getting completely all of the screen there. The sky goes up a couple more inches above the top of those trees at the bottom of the image, because of course remember the ground glass inverts this. But I think this gives you a good sense of what the image looks like, what we're taking a shot of in here, and how crisp this ground glass looks. Okay, so I'm going to get on and take the actual image now. Thanks for watching, and I should be able to show you the negative, but I might just put that up as a separate video actually, so I can get this video up and see how people feel. Okay, thanks very much for watching. Bye for now. Okay, so here is the finished negative, which I spoke about. It's looking pretty good, I would say. It's on my little makeshift light box, which is essentially 4 sheets of A4 paper taped to the window. So those are the lines that you can see here and here. Right, those are not scratches on the negative. And then I've just very lightly taped the negative edge up here, and it's a nice sunny day out there in Brussels at long last. Had some torrential downpours during the day, so the sun is finally coming out, and that's pretty nicely exposed, I would say. This main building here at the front is a white painted rendered penthouse apartment across the way. There's a deep shadow down here, but you can see that there's still some detail in there, and then the trees and the sky yesterday was pretty clear. There are a few scratches. There's a little scratching here and here, and this is a problem with X-ray emulsions. They're pretty soft, but as I say, on the whole, that's a pretty nice looking negative, and absolutely enormous. And you imagine that the white paper that's diffusing the light for us is taped to be A2 in size, so that's about 16 by 20, a little bit more than that, 17 by 23 I would say, and you can see the negative literally just fits across there. Pretty pleased with that all in all. If I just sort of go through the exposure a little, I'll just grab my notes. The deep shadow down here, metered at f2, I guess f2.4 for a 30th of a second. Remember, these are nominally, the film's nominally rated at 80. The sky was 16.3 at the 30th. This white building along here registered 11.3. So I've got roughly half a stop to f2.8, so sort of 2.4ish, and then up to about 16.5. So that was just about six stops of range in the subject brightness. So I settled then on something like f8 at a 30th of a second. Now my lens is in a barrel, so I can't possibly expose for a 30th of a second. So what I actually then did was to close the f-stop down, and I settled in the end on f90. My lens will actually go another stop, it'll go to f128. But f90 seemed fine to me, and I gave it 4 seconds of exposure at that, and I think I'm pretty pleased with that exposure. That looks pretty spot on to me actually as I look at that negative, and you can definitely see the tanning effect of the moorish on that negative as well. So pretty pleased. And then my next thing will be to contact this now onto palladium, onto a palladium sheet, and just see how that turns out. But I'm suspecting that that's going to be pretty good. And you can see here, you can see the motion blur in this tree from the 4-second exposure. Anyway, so that's the finish of that. When I do the contact print, I'll put up a separate video for that. But that's my first negative out of that 14x17 camera, and I have to say I am delighted. Looks fantastic. So thanks for watching. Bye now.